मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी बहुत रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
In the news tonight, expert says bullying culture needs to be broken. COVID outbreak forces tourism relook. And Fijians free to return home.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
The brutal beating of a student at Ratakandavu Level School in Tailevu is a reflection of how the perpetrators are raised at home. Mental health expert Selina Kuruleva says the incident should be categorized as secondary assault and not just bullying. Koroi Tandulala reports.
Responding to comments that these sort of beatings are the norm in boarding schools, Selina Kuruleva says this behavior is intolerable.
For people who are thinking that this behavior is funny, it's not. And you need to check yourself, you need to go and get help. For victims, for people who are falling prey to others, belittling them, teasing them, assaulting them, you need to tell an adult. You need to tell your friends. Friends need to stand up and say, you need to stop that behavior.
She says parents and communities need to take an honest look at how they are influencing these youth who become bullies.
But the children have demonstrated a behavior that they've obviously learned from somewhere. And we need to check that. We need to get to the root of that problem. General public, I just want to ask ourselves, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? We're modeling behavior that is inappropriate. Our children are sponges. They soak it up and they go and do it again.
The Fiji Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination Commission is urging Fijians to work with them and police to address this issue and bring those responsible to justice.
This kind of behavior, if left unchecked, if it is condoned, basically sort of, is ingrained in the psyche of these kids, then who then grow up to be very violent, adults, because they think that violence is the answer.
Police are urging Fijians to stop sharing the video on social media as people are now targeting the families of the alleged perpetrators. The Ministry of Education says it strongly condemns any form of violence, reinforcing its zero-tolerance policy on any form of violence or abuse in schools. Koroi Tandulala, FBC News.
Advertising Fiji in key markets will need to be reviewed amid growing concerns COVID-19 is spreading across the world. The Fiji Hotel and Tourism Association says the recent travel ban for Italy will affect tourists coming in from Europe, which the industry relies heavily on around this period. Details with Felipe Naikaso.
The Chinese market is only 5% of visitors at this time of the year, and the North American and European markets, which make up the bulk of tourists, will take a dip as our borders have closed to Italy.
Italy, Venice, where the coronavirus is rife right now, they have a huge tourism industry that they rely on, but they have huge, so their tourism areas are like people go for the museums and the art and the culture. And so if somebody's got it in those huge crowds, they're simply passing it along, whether they got on a flight, got on a cruise, or went back to their own countries.
With Australia being the latest country to confirm COVID-19 cases, things will only get worse for tourist operators.
But this is probably going to have to be reviewed again. So I guess it's a work in progress.
The cruise ship tourism sector will also feel the pinch soon, and researcher Dr. Sakul Kundra expects fewer ships sailing into Fiji in the next few months due to the outbreak.
Coronavirus has been one of the major threat or fear to before boarding the cruise. Will I come back? What will happen? If I'm going to Asia, where will be the halt? These bookings have been done 1 year back, 6 months back. They were not aware that this virus will come in.
More than 300,000 visitors came in from Australia last year, while Europe accounted for more than 30,000 tourists and China about 47,000. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Permanent Secretary for Immigration Yogesh Karan has clarified that Fijian nationals travelling from countries on the coronavirus restricted list will be allowed into our borders. This comes after one Pacific Island country refused entry to their citizens who had to be sheltered and isolated in Fiji for the recommended 14 days before they were allowed back. Maggie Boyle reports.
With China, Italy, Iran and 2 cities in South Korea on the travel ban list, the authorities have reaffirmed that Fijians in these countries can return home.
No, they can come. Like we can't stop them. Recently, as you know, there were 13 Samoans that couldn't go to Samoa. Samoa did not accept them, so we had to quarantine them here.
However, in the instance that a Fijian national is confirmed to have COVID-19, Curran says there are measures in place to get assistance from one of our closest neighbors.
Should any of our nationals get into this situation, then recent visit of the Prime Minister of New Zealand, we've been assured that New Zealand will be able to quarantine them for us before we bring them to Fiji.
As the secondary defense at our borders, the health authorities say they are prepared.
The lives of all Fijians are priceless. We are very compassionate about this. We are committed to making sure that we will go to the end to make sure that we protect lives.
COVID-19 global deaths have now surpassed 3,000, with close to 90,000 confirmed cases in more than 50 countries. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The global death toll from coronavirus has exceeded 3,000, with nearly 90,000 confirmed cases worldwide across 61 countries. 90% of those killed have been in China's Hubei province, the epicenter of the outbreak. Now Australia has seen its first cases of domestic transmission. 3 sites have been identified by the Ministry of Local Government for the relocation of the Lambasa market and bus station. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports this is part of the ministry's plans for the development and expansion of Lambasa to cater for growth in the township.
A feasibility study has been conducted on all 3 sites identified by the Ministry of Local Government to relocate the Lambasa bus station and the municipal market too.
That study got completed. We've received the report. And now the next step is to analyze and take the matter to Cabinet.
Plans to further develop Lambasa town has been in the pipeline for some years now. Minister Pramila Kumar says there are other factors that they are also discussing.
There are many other factors that needs to be considered, like with how the whole town is growing, in which direction it's growing, and how do we deal with the traffic congestion.
Over the last decade, there has been no major work done to expand the existing roading network in the town area to address traffic congestion.
It's a really a good plan because it will help ease the traffic jam every morning and every afternoon.
The long time the thing was traffic problem in here in Lambasa, getting late to work and getting back again. It was very big queue here. So we think that's a very good idea for Lambasa.
I'm happy with the development in Lambasa. Our town is expanding.
Lambasa town is Vanolabu's main commercial center, and with major developments underway, like the construction of the Damoda City Complex, the Fiji National University Complex, and the Football Academy, the existing town infrastructure will surely be under pressure, and congestion will be an issue. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
Up ahead, Nawaikula says he doesn't know how government works. And religious beliefs cause child neglect. Details after the break.
Radio Fiji One, Nandomo Iviti.
SADALPA MP Niko Nawaikula today admitted in court that he does not know how the government operates, despite being a member of parliament. During cross-examination in a defamation case, Nawaikula claimed he only knows parliamentary procedures and not the workings of government. Edwin Nund reports.
The opposition MP took the stand today, defending his 2017 Facebook post against the Fijian Broadcasting Corporation and its chief executive Ria Said Kayum. Nawaikula attempted to justify his post as fair comment by citing FBC annual reports, Auditor General's reports and Hansard records of Parliament. However, FBC lawyer Emmanuel Narayan objected to the documents since Nawaikula did not present them as evidence before the case began. The court has ruled these cannot be submitted as evidence. Nawaikula had allegedly posted that Syed Kayum was responsible for the prolonged strike at air terminal services during his time as board chair. The MP had also posted about FBC's $21.5 million loan, questioning why it wasn't investigated by FICAC. Nawaikula admitted in court that he never sought answers from FBC, Syed Qayyum, or relevant ministries before making the post. He also admitted that he made the post against Syed Qayyum in the hopes that it would lead to his resignation from FBC. Former politician Mick Beddoes gave evidence in defense, claiming that Syed Qayyum and the FBC board should have been sacked for the company's losses. Under cross-examination, Beddoes admitted he was unaware that the losses were projected and the FBC board was aware. He also admitted that it was normal procedure for any company to project losses after major investments, as was the case for FBC. FBC and its chief executive are seeking damages and a court ruling to stop Nawaikula from further libelous comments. Hearing ended this afternoon with a ruling to be delivered on notice. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
More hearing clinics and checkups need to be organised for children, says hearing aids and ear care specialist Sevenai Ratumaitavuki. Ratumaitavuki believes if hearing impairment is detected early, more can be done for children. Lena Reese has more.
More than 70 children have undergone screening this year for hearing impairment at Frank Hilton Organization's audiology department.
For us here in Fiji, for children, one of the main causes of hearing loss is untreated ear infections. Like ear infections that have been there left untreated.
Today is World Hearing Day, and parent Lauren Frey says raising a child that has a hearing impairment is challenging, but she believes early intervention can make a difference.
Just getting that help is so awesome. It was a relief for us knowing that we were actually doing something to help him, and they were giving us like really good advice, and he eventually got hearing aids, and then he was put into the early intervention school system here.
World Hearing Day is held on the 3rd of March each year to help raise awareness on how to prevent deafness and hearing loss and to promote ear and hearing care across the world. Lena Reese, FBC News.
The Fiji Pharmaceutical Society is concerned expert pharmacists are not meeting the same standards set for the local graduates. The president claims some overseas pharmacists have failed the mandatory registration exam but have been allowed to practice in the country. Kritika Kumar reports.
Claims have been made that pharmacists from other countries are unsupervised when they practice here.
The Skilled Professional Registration Act allows them to come into the country and practice for a little while, maybe up to a year before they have to sit the board exam. We don't allow our local graduates to do this. Why are you allowing the overseas pharmacists to do this? And
Chan says they have raised their concerns with the Skilled Professionals Evaluation Committee.
Who all failed the board exam, do not meet the criteria to be registered in the country. They also lack communication skills, and they are not basically aware of the Fijian culture and the way of practice that is here. And yeah, so despite this report, we have requests from SPEC to allow them to continue practice for some reason.
Health Minister Dr. Ifremi Wangainambete says he will follow up with his permanent secretary.
It has to be done in such a way to protect our people, and that it has its own rules and regulations.
The Pharmaceutical Society wants overseas pharmacists to meet the minimum standards required under the law to avoid the risk of making medical errors which may affect the public. FBC News has sent questions to the Skilled Professionals Evaluations Committee, who are yet to respond. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The Child Services Unit has discovered some children are being denied medical care due to religious beliefs. Unit Assistant Director Ella Tukutukulevu says some children are prevented from accessing medical services because of their religious beliefs. Sainiani Mboila reports child neglect continues to top the child abuse cases list.
The Child Services Unit received 378 child neglect reports last year alone, a large increase when compared to 239 cases in 2018.
So the cases of medical neglect occur if a child isn't receiving medical care due to financial constraints or religious beliefs. Okay, so we also get reports where children may be denied this because of religious beliefs.
Fiji Council of Churches President Reverend Dr. Tevi Tambani Vanoa says religious belief should never be a reason to to deny medical treatment to children.
We would like to request, parents and the religious leaders of those communities to reconsider their stance for the sake of the children, because negligence, like you have mentioned, is set to hear.
The Child Services Unit recorded 1,031 child abuse cases last year. This is a massive increase compared to 838 cases recorded in 2018. Sainia Nimboila, FBC News.
Fijians will no longer have to be physically present at the post office to inquire about any product, service or incoming and outgoing mails with the opening of a new call centre. Chief Executive Aniruddha Bansod says the centre will provide support and services to customers domestically and internationally. The call centre, which was established within a month, will be managed by 6 staff.
We have numerous products. We have a EMS, philatelic, we have a registered parcel. Now what will happen is all the customer queries and inquiries will be diverted to the one center, which is a call center, and we have a professional team.
And it's business time now with Apinisa.
Thanks, Jackie. Coming up after the break, FHL CEO post re-evaluated. And in growing Fiji, new quarters for Nawakethe district school teachers. Stay with us.
My name is Neha and I'm from Karavi, and Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Leading business, the Consumer Council is calling on Fijians to be alert while carrying out transactions online. This as they have seen an increase in the number of complaints received. Chief Executive Sima Shandil says majority of the complaints are from women who are unemployed. Shandil says Fijians need to be cautious while shopping online, as in some cases they end up paying huge sums of money for fake items.
The platform provides a wealth of opportunities to these scammers to, get close to the consumers, and the potential threat is immeasurable.
An accountancy firm will finalize the application for the Chief Executive Officer for the Fijian Holdings Limited this week. FHL Board Chair Yogesh Karan says they've changed a number of requirements for the position prior to the advertisement. The FHL CEO post has been vacant since December when its previous holder resigned. Application for the vacancy closes on Friday.
We have re-evaluated the position, changed the KPIs and expectations, what's required, and this time to take the company to another height.
We now join Sinifa from HFC Bank with the latest from the global stock market.
U.S. factory manufacturing activity slowed in February as new orders contracted, reflecting worries about supply chain disruptions related to the fast-spreading coronavirus outbreak, which has revived financial market fears of a recession. Global stock markets have tumbled, with Wall Street's key indexes suffering their worst week since the 2008 global financial crisis last week. The yield on the 2-year Treasury note fell below 1% for the first time since 2016. Meanwhile, a measure of Australian consumer confidence skidded to 5.5-year lows last week as the spread of the coronavirus sparked a huge sell-off in stock markets and badly shook the economic outlook. The RBA holds its monthly policy meeting today, and markets are wagering it will cut rates a quarter point to 0.5%. The Kiwi dollar also held steady, since the RBA's decision may force the hand of New Zealand's central bank when it meets later in the month. That's all for now from HFC Bank, Vinaka.
Here are today's exchange rates as set this morning. As the effects of COVID-19 continues to play a havoc on the world's exchange indexes, the Fiji dollar gained once again against the Australian and New Zealand dollars. It also gained against the kina while dropping against all others. After drops yesterday, commodity prices increased. The price of crude oil ended at around $47 per barrel. Gold was up at $1,598 an ounce, and silver improved to $16.95 per ounce. The Nabuakia, their district school's new teachers' quarters in Naitasiri was officially opened yesterday. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama says the government has been opening attractive, convenient and well-constructed teachers' quarters to give back to the teachers who choose to give so much to their country through education. The new quarters was built keeping in mind the natural disasters as it was badly damaged in 2016 during Cyclone Winston. We know that the renewed well-being these quarters will provide aren't just about physical safety and security. It's about meeting the mental and emotional needs of our teachers and giving them comfort and predictability that allows them to focus all their energy on the education of Fijian girls and boys who come to school ready to learn every day. That's it from Business Tonight. Jamie joins you now with the latest from sports.
Thanks, Apanisa, and good evening in sports tonight. National Sevens captain emphasizes possession. And Champagnat Institute to feature at Coke Games after 5 years. There's some more coming up.
Bola, I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Ball possession was critical for the Fiji Airways Fiji Sevens side at the LA Sevens. Although the national side has moved up on the World Series standings, team captain Ratumeli Ndernalangi believes there's still plenty room for improvement.
The main thing for us is to win the ball. So when we win the ball, we can play our sevens game, Fijian sevens style of game. So the message from the team, from our coach, was just to come out here and win the ball so we can play our own type of sevens game.
The Fiji Sevens side now head to Canada for the Vancouver Sevens, where they're pooled with France, Canada and Wales. Tuinraki Samusamu Wondre will lead the swire-shipping Fiji Warriors to the World Rugby Pacific Challenge. Coach Kelele Were says the 22-year-old brings a wealth of experience to the Warriors. Venina Rakautonga with this report.
The Nandi native played a vital role in the last World Rugby Pacific Challenge and has been given the responsibility to lead a relatively young side.
It's been a great opportunity, grateful for to be given the captain to captain the side. I thank the coaches and I thank the Lord. The boys have been doing well since training, been tough, and yeah, they've been coping well. And we'll just throw things together, play simple.
Samu Vondre has played for the Fijian Drua, Fijian Latui and the 4-time champion Fiji Warriors side, far more experienced than most of the players he is leading. Head coach Kelele Awere believes the Warriors captain has the grit to take up any challenge thrown at him.
Tuinraki has been there for a while, he's been with Andrua, he's been with the Latui, and him coming in to help the Warriors, it's a big task for him. But at the same time, we rely on his leadership, and I know he will lead the team well.
The Fiji Warriors will play Samoa A in the first round of the World Rugby Pacific Challenge on Friday at 5 p.m. at the ANZ Stadium in Suva. Venina Rakautonga, FBC Sports.
Ratukundabulevu School will be put to the test this week against the traditional rivals Queen Victoria in the Fiji Secondary Schools Rugby League Under-19 Southeast Zone semi-final. The switch from Union to League has been a challenge for the RKS players, but they are adapting well. Caroline Tavi reports.
Efforts are being made by these players to improve on the performance from last week.
It's a big challenge for the boys, especially to make that mindset transition from the rugby mentality to the rugby league mentality. So we are trying our very best to deliver the best coaching aspect that we can, that will enable them to improve on the game.
Schools Rugby League Vice President Naisa Rama is urging fans of the Tailevu-based school to come and witness some of the best league matches.
And the main game on Saturday will be the old Tailevu rivalry, Ratukundabulevu School versus Queen Victoria School. We are really looking forward to watching this game, and I'm inviting all the old scholars, parents and supporters to please come along in big numbers and cheer for your teams and support them on their big day.
In another semi-final, Nasinu Secondary School will take on Maurice Brothers High School at the St. Marcelin School Ground on Saturday. Caroline Tavi, FBC Sports.
Marist Champagnat Institute will be taking 7 athletes to the 2020 Coca-Cola Games. The school last competed in 2015 with only 1 athlete in the senior boys long jump. As Caroline Tavi reports, this will be the first time Marist Champagnat will compete in the track events at the Coke Games.
These students have proved that they are ready for the upcoming Coke Games by competing in the Zone 1 competition with the help from teachers.
Last year, due to the frustration of the students, that when they hear the yelling from the pavilion, two of the athletes, they just pull out because they were frightened to take part because of the yelling and the shouting from the pavilion.
Athletics coach Aramondo Tuvione says although they had little time to prepare, the students were able to meet the qualifying times for Zone 1 and the Coca-Cola Games.
Before we used to know that the zone usually happens in week 10, but since now it's happening in week 7, the qualifying standard time was not that good. We managed to increase our training load to the students so that they can make the cut.
14-year-old Joseph Brown is excited to be amongst the 7 athletes participating in the Coca-Cola Games for the first time.
I'm proud to represent my school and thank you, Master, for coaching me.
The Vatuanga Bay School has 6 athletes in the sub-junior division 4x400 meters with 1 athlete in the senior boys long jump. Caroline Tavi, FBC Sports.
The Suva football side is focused on improving their discipline as they prepare to take on Lautoka in the Vodafone Premier League. Suva Football Association President Ritesh Pratap believes simple errors cost them the last few matches.
What area we are looking at is your defense, because I think we have considered 3 stupid goals against Nasinu, so I think that's the area we will be looking at, and plus our discipline factor, because I think the players need to be very, very disciplined on field to avoid all those silly penalties we are considering.
Lautoka will host Suva Churchill Park this Sunday. Bar football had a nightmare start to the OFC Champions League after being hammered by 9-time winners Auckland City. In our play of the day, we revisit the LA Sevens, where once again Fiji did not fail to entertain, especially with this well-timed hit by Amniasi Tuimamba and spectacular pass by Sebuloni Modena.
Get things rolling. Oh, check this one. One word to describe this one. Tui Wamba. Look at him. That's a red ball. Can we have a clean up on our 5, please?
How big that one ends up on SportsCenter in the States.
Oh, one of the hugest programs in the world of sports. Tui Mamba. I mean, oh my goodness. I need a Panadol after that.
I like your Tui Mamba. Tui Wamba. Speaking of skills.
Moto Nathangi. That's the best pass we've seen all season long. I don't know how you do that. I'm still trying to figure out how to defend it.
Look at it. Out the back of the hands. No look. On the button.
People can't even do that with 2 hands looking the right way. It's 1 hand looking the wrong way.
Sevu Modena, an absolute superstar. And so
That's it from Sports Tonight. Lena joins you with weather later on, and in new media, find out how a digital flying doctor will aid air travelers. That's coming up.
My name is Neha and I'm from Karavi, and Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Weather time now with the one and only Angie. Welcome back.
Aloha and welcome to the Weather World. It's so great to be back, bringing you the greatest and the latest rain and shower news. From today, all I picked was that the weather was gorgeous in its own form, the sun was right up, and definitely no complaints at all. Now, in the west, what can go wrong here when the weather is all right? Eastwards from Back Harbour to Suva, things got pretty humid here, but the evening showers will soon make things easier for us. And up north, more sunshine for our friends up there chilling under the sun. At sea, things are not rough. The knots will only extend up to 50 knots. For the tides, high tide at 1:26 a.m. with low tide at 7:19 a.m. Sunrise at 6:06. For tomorrow, well, when the sun is happy, we all are happy, and that is exactly what our weather will be like, nice and happy. Tomorrow's temps, we haven't really crossed anything over 36 degrees yet, so the temps are likely to fall back in the lower 30s. And looking further on to Thursday, guess who's hanging out a little bit more? Yup, Jackie's much loved, the sunshine. That's all from my end. It's back to the news, Sunshine.
Thanks so much for that, Angie, and it's good to have you back. In Fiji and Pulse tonight, we asked, should all cases of bullying in schools be reported to police?
Yeah, I think it should be reported, because most of the time the teachers don't expose it, and then it's an ongoing issue. Yeah, so I think definitely it should be reported.
All cases of bullying in schools should be handled by police.
All bullying cases in schools should be reported to police and shouldn't be dealt by teachers. Teachers should just concentrate on teaching and not dealing with these issues.
Definitely should be all cases, including kids being senior students bullying junior students. They should be reported to the police, not only to the teachers or head teachers.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, is beer yoga really the future of exercise? Some may agree, while others don't. Recapping the main stories for tonight, expert says bullying culture needs to be broken. COVID outbreak forces tourism relook, and Fijians free to return home. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question this week, we are asking, should students involved in bullying face criminal charges? Be sure to visit the FBC website to answer. And our shot of the day, a beautiful afternoon in Raki Raki, captured by Joeli Nalodi. And you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, via Facebook page FBC News, our Twitter page at FBC_news, or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your news for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Bula, I'm Miri, I'm from Lotoka, and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.